Hello, everybody. Well, good morning, everybody. So let's see. I'm not going to wait too much longer to get into this because I'm talking about waiting or not waiting, or if you should be waiting or should not be waiting. And, you know, a lot of times when I talk to people about making changes in their life, and nothing that I'm forcing upon them, by the way, usually they came to me to talk to me about things they wanted to change, giving up something, changing their relationship status, getting a new job. And then I feel like, or what I used to feel like when I used to sort of press at them around what they wanted was just a lot of resistance, right? So people would come to me, people would pay me to help them change, and then I'd be like, oh, but I can't because of this, or I don't have the money, or I'm not ready, or they never actually, let me take that back, because people rarely say, are honest enough to say that they're not ready. They'll blame it on the other person, the other circumstance, some unknown or unforeseen situation, and basic fears. So let's be clear that when people aren't ready to change, it's because the fears haven't converged like out of their head and then dropped into their body to the extent that they're scared to death. So people are living in their fears up here, and fears are usually, Maslow's hierarchy, right? Food, water, shelter. People are afraid that they're going to run out of money and not being able to get their basic needs met, not being able to pay rent, pay their bills. Meanwhile, most of the people that are afraid of that are making good money and have a ton of money stripped away, but that's a whole nother story. And then also people are afraid of being alone or some need for emotional security not being met, right? So they won't get out of a relationship that they're not happy in. They won't leave a job, both for the financial security aspect and also for whatever personal, relational, or emotional security needs might be getting met in that professional environment, right? So these are all normal fears, and they're all reasons why people are blocked from making the changes that they in fact are saying that they want to make, right? These changes. And so what do you do? Is that first thing, when someone comes to me and they're like, I need to get a new job. My boss is an asshole and I'm sick of it. And so I sit back and, they want to talk ad nauseum about what's wrong with their boss. And you know what I want to talk about? Your fear. I want to talk about, why are you afraid to leave? What's going on? Why have you stayed so long in a place where you're uncomfortable or feeling like you're being mistreated? And quite frankly, whose fault is that? And people get stuck in this roller coaster of like, oh, they're abusing me, or he's bullying me, or oh, I'm, blah, 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 as if everything out there is wrong and that's to blame for why you're still there, right? And then add on to that some facet of the job market isn't good because I'm older, the job market isn't good because it's a recession, the job market isn't good because. So these are all fears. Your fears get attached to your excuses and then you don't act, and then things just stay still. But here's the problem with still things and still fears is they get stuck, and then in fact you start rolling backwards, right? And all the things you're afraid of are just in you night and day and night. And you just keep like trying to get away from them and they just keep chasing you. It's like the boogeyman in your nightmare, right? And then when your fears keep chasing you and you keep trying to run, stress increases, anxiety increases, depression increases, sleeplessness increases, and then you start to have health problems, right? So I'm just trying to tie all these ways that people lack power in their relationships, in their work lives, in their daily lives, in the way that they treat their body and their health. I'm just trying to paint the picture of how these things, no matter who you are or what point you start from, eventually are leading you towards ill health, be it mentally, emotionally, physically, or all of the above, right? And what we want to do is we want to stop the tide, but you can't stop the tide because things are always, see, this is the problem. People are trying to stop waves with their bare hands and they don't understand where the power really is. The power is, first, you learn how to swim. First, you get new skills. First, you make yourself stronger through action and through practice, working against this knee-jerk, kind of pathetic and fearful way that you've been taught to think. You don't have to live like that, but it's going to take time to change. It's going to take time to learn how to swim because the tide's going to keep coming and you can't fight it back. But what you can do is you can learn to swim, you can learn to roll with it, you can get stronger, you can practice a better way, taking action against your fears, you know? So I'm gonna invite you to do the thing that scares you the most today, or a facet of it, or something that makes you uncomfortable, whether it's a conversation you've been afraid to have, an action you've been afraid to take, something you've been afraid to sign up for or commit to, just something like that. Just do it, because action has boldness and genius in it, as it's said by Goethe, right? Boldness and genius is what we're looking for, not fear, not apathy, not depression. Boldness, genius, action, love, power. All right? So that's that for today. Hope you all have a beautiful Friday, and thanks for hanging out with me for a bit.